1D&D just dropped 3 new classes and the Ranger is busted strong. I'm not exaggerating, this thing is completely broken right from level 1. But aside from that one mistake, which just breaks this class, you got a bunch of other changes and buffs as well. Let's break it down. Level 1, the strongest class. So the first big change you've got is Favored Enemy. This completely throws out the old favored enemy, which was pretty weak, and starts it from scratch. Now you always have Hunter's Mark prepared. It doesn't require concentration when you cast it, and it lasts for the full duration. Hunter's Mark is the iconic Ranger spell, and its primary effect is that all your attacks on the creature you have marked deal an extra 1d6 damage. On the surface, this sounds reasonable, but it isn't. It is completely broken with these new rules. Firstly, there's a change to 2 weapon fighting in 1D&D. Now, if you're holding 2 weapons with the light property, like 2 daggers, you can make an extra attack when you take the attack action with your offhanded weapon, but you don't add your ability score modifier to the damage. That means a level 1 ranger with 2 daggers, 2 short swords, or 2 hand crossbows is attacking twice per turn without using their bonus action. Now, remember that Hunter's Mark doesn't require concentration when you cast it, and all characters get a free feat as a part of their background, including Magic Initiate Arcane. That lets anyone, including rangers, pick up the spell Hex, another concentration bonus action spell that also deals an extra 1d6 damage per attack on the creature you hex. This means you can have Hunter's Mark and Hex running at the same time on the same creature. Then you're making 2 attacks per turn between your 2 hand crossbows, dealing 2d6 additional damage each. That is 6d6 plus 3 every turn from level 1. 24 damage from 30 feet away, and it's all set up by the time you take your second attack action. This is crazy. I made a video all about the most powerful level 1 builds in the game, and this destroys all of them. And it lasts a long time. Both these spells last an hour each, and you can move them across to different creatures as a bonus action when you kill your first target. But okay, just because that is broken doesn't mean there isn't other amazing stuff for the Ranger that I hope does stick around. Also at level 1, Rangers get Expertise, which is amazing, pumping up those rangery skills. And they get a massively expanded spell list when Rangers used to get spellcasting at level 2. They get everything from the primal spell list except for evocation spells. And although there are some good evocation spells on that list, you are not going to be short of amazing spell choices across the entire game. And they get cantrips, which is great, and they are prepared casters now, which means you can swap out your spells every day, which is a big upgrade. And once again, all that we've just talked about, they get at level 1, meaning it's available to any class in the game if at any point you take a single level in Ranger. But there is so much more to this class. Let's go quick.
Mr. Shorts, we've got your medical results back. Everything seems basically okay, but we do need to talk about your diet. Oh, really? Yeah. You need to stop eating dice. What? Yeah, many D&D players are attached to their dice and struggle with desires to eat them. That's why we recommend Wormwood's Dice Case. Ooh, wow! Held together with 4 rare earth magnets, it's the perfect accessory for holding your dice, keeping them safe and stylish, and out of reach if you get hungry. Man, I'm totally gonna get that dice tray and eat it. You're a weird guy, Shorts. Shut up and give me wood!
Wormwood, the one-stop shop for the most beautiful D&D gaming accessories. Good enough to eat, but please don't eat them. Spectacular crafted cases like the Dice Vault and Hero Vault for your minis. Grab yours today using the link below and get free dice and free shipping on any domestic order over $50. All at wormwoodgaming.com/D&D shorts, link below. So, just like before, Rangers get a fighting style at level 2. Slight change, but all the fighting styles are now feats, meaning you can take extra ones at levels 4, 8, 12, 16, and 19. Pretty cool. At 3rd level, you get your first Ranger subclass feature, and they've cut the old ability Primeval Awareness. People didn't like the ability, it was also pretty weak, and so they've just axed it, which is becoming a bit of a theme in 1D&D. Level 4, you get a feat, level 5, you get extra attack, and level 6, you get another Ranger subclass feature. Then at level 7, you get another massive upgrade. Roving. This replaces the old level 8 Land's Stride ability, which was okay. It let you move at normal speed through difficult terrain. Roving is way better. It gives you a swim speed and a climb speed equal to your walking speed, and your walking speed increases by 10 feet as long as you aren't wearing heavy armor. So rangers are now these masters of movement, kind of like monks, which I really like. It's powerful and exciting without being broken. At level 8, you get a feat, level 9, you get expertise again, and at level 10, you get another subclass feature. This replaces the old hide in plain sight ability, another ranger feature which kind of sucked. You painted yourself up and pressed yourself against the surface, and you got a +10 to your stealth checks, as long as you never moved or took any actions. Then at level 11, you get a new ability, Tireless. You remove a level of exhaustion when you finish a short rest, and you gain some temporary hit points when you finish a long rest. Exhaustion has been changed in these new rules, and there are a lot of implications we need to talk about that, but long story short, it's not as punishing as it used to be. But Tireless is pretty good. I can see it comboing really nicely with a 3-level dip into Berserker Barbarian. At level 12, you get a feat, and at level 13, you get the amazing Nature's Veil. As a bonus action, you expend a spell slot of any level to turn invisible until the end of your next turn. All your attacks come in at advantage, all enemy attacks come in at disadvantage, you don't trigger opportunity attacks, and you're immune to a bunch of nasty spells and effects that require sight. Also, this isn't technically casting a spell, which means that Ranger Barbarian multiclass is looking very real and very powerful. At level 15, you get 30 feet of blind sight, which is great, and it's basically the old level 18 ability. And at the new level 18, you get a fresh version of Foe Slayer, increasing the damage dealt by your Hunter's Mark from a d6 to a d10. That's an extra potential 6 to 8 damage per turn, which is okay, but not amazing. It also means that to get the most out of these rangers, you can probably only go to level 17 for your 5th level spells and put 3 levels somewhere else, like Fighter, Barbarian, or Paladin. Finally, you round off like every other class with a feat at level 19 and an epic boon of your choice at level 20. But wait, there is an updated subclass here as well, the Hunter Ranger. It gives some great buffs and also a crazy new idea we've never seen in D&D before. Level 3, you get Hunter's Prey. Whenever you hit a creature with a weapon attack or an unarmed strike on your turn, it deals an extra 1d8 damage once per turn if that creature is below their maximum hit points. It's basically an extra 4 damage per turn, and it works especially well with the new 2-weapon fighting, because your first attack will take the enemy off maximum hit points, and your second attack will deal the extra damage. At level 6, you get Hunter's Law, which is basically an upgrade on an ability we saw in another Ranger subclass, Monster Slayer. While a creature is marked by Hunter's Mark, you automatically know their immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities. I like this one. It's not too powerful, but it feels very rangery. Then, at 10th level, you get Multi-Attack. This is the crazy one. You always have Conjure Barrage prepared, and it doesn't count against the spells you can prepare. Conjure Barrage basically turns one arrow into a 60-foot cone of arrows. In this explosive blast of ammunition that deals 3d8 to every creature in that cone on a failed dex save, or half as much on a success. But the feature also says you can cast the spell at lower levels than printed, and the damage reduces by 1d8 for each level below 3rd. So you can downcast this spell, which is, kind of useful, but more importantly, we can downcast stuff now. That's a really exciting design space they're moving into. I'm really excited to see other class features we see in the future that make use of this downcasting feature. And finally, at level 14, you get Superior Hunter's Defense. This is a powerful one. When you're hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to half the damage done to you, and then redirect the other half of that damage to another creature within 5 feet. So it's kind of the Rogue's Evasion ability, halving damage, with a big upside if you can get yourself surrounded by enemies deflecting damage onto each other. So, are these new Rangers broken? Yes. They are so much more powerful at level 1 in terms of damage output than most builds are at level 4. They are definitely stronger than the other classes that are published in 1D&D so far, and they are miles better than the Rangers we used to know. However, aside from the Hunter's Mark thing, I like the power level here. It might be a little too strong, especially as we've seen some amazing Ranger subclasses come out recently, but Rangers are still only half casters. This power level is probably where half casters need to be. This is what it takes to compete when other players are casting Fireball, Wall of Force, Dominate Monster, and Simulacrum. So I'm kind of here for it, unlike what they did with the Rogue, but there are plenty of people complaining about Rogues already. One thing I don't like though, is that it feels like there's less flavor to the Ranger now. This class just feels less Rangery to me than the old one did. But this is a playtest. They're releasing this crazy stuff to see if we can break it. It is our goddamn patriotic duty to try and find these exploits. I have so much respect and love for the people who make this game, and I want them to push the boat out as far as they can to find these new exciting design spaces to improve the game. And that means sometimes trying things that turn out to be a mistake. Remember to check out the Patreon for hundreds of pages of amazing D&D content, including races, subclasses, feats, maps, and adventures, and a full 50-page magazine that you can download for free. The September issue just dropped, with new rules to introduce drugs to your D&D campaign.
Ain't no party without drugs!
Also remember to like and subscribe, check out other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time.